Good evening to all of you. So today we are going to discuss December 2022 SML paper. So I'm your facilitator and I'm Dimuthu Suranjana, a fellow member of Sri Lanka. Right. So now, when it comes to this SL4 paper, this normally consists of two sections. Section 1, which carry 50 marks, then section 2, which also carry 50 marks. The difference between this section 1 and 2 is section 1 normally include 2 questions, each carry 25 marks. Section 2 only have 1 questions, which is based on common free scene provided before the exam, prior to the exam, actually 1 month prior to the exam. Right. So when it comes to the mode of the examinations, this is not an open book exam. This is a closed book exam. So then you can get an idea about the difficulty of the paper when it becomes a closed book examinations. So my personal experience as a lecturer for last 17 years in the same subject, this paper is very difficult one. Especially XML is a very difficult paper, but from students' perspective, so what I have seen is not giving much weight on this. So that ultimately lead to failure. I don't want to talk much on that aspects. So we'll move to the paper. So as I have told you, section 1 consists of 2 questions. Each question carry 25 marks. See this question number 1, this carry 25 marks. Then you can see it carry 25 marks. Then question number 2 again, which carry 25 marks. 25 marks. Then question number 3, that was based on the common pre-scene, and that carry 50 marks. 50 marks. Right. So we will start our discussion from the question number 1. Now, so we'll look at about the questions first. When you look at about the questions here, so part A asks to apply the Venn matrix. See, analyze the significance of the stakeholders of Ceylon by using Mendelov matrix and explain how to manage those stakeholders. So 10 mark questions. Then part B, analyze the way forward plan of the company continues operation with outsourcing or doing vertical integrations. So it tests your outsourcing knowledge at the same time your knowledge in integrations. Then C, identify 2 critical success factors and recommend 1 key performance indicator for each CSF under the following spheres of activities of Ceylon. That's very simple one. It's not difficult one. marketing and sales, distribution and logistics, human resources. Right. That 6 can be easily scored. That is not a difficult one. Right. So now we have an idea. So what type of question is raised, but we didn't go in depth of the questions. We just to get some idea what are the areas covered. We just read the questions and start from there. So Mendelometrics, that means that we should have given more attention about the stakeholders while we are reading. In second one, we should look at about the opportunity exit for outsourcing or for vertical integrations. Then the next one is not difficult one. Actually, this can be the part C can be handled very easily. Right. Here I'm not going to give attention on theory part, right? Here, so I'm going directly to address the questions requirement, since we don't have time to address the theory in these particular sessions. Right. So we'll look at about the questions. CT. So CT, tea company, no, this is prefer love tea industry, no, right? So examiner love tea industry. That's why I think this time even this time this pre-scene is also based on this plantation company. So if you go through the pre-scene this time one, right? So again, see this the first company is in the tea industry, Southern Plantation Private Limited, right? So they are also in the tea industry, right? Right. So example love tea. That is one point we can understand, identify. So we'll go through this. Actually, so the attentive reading is important here. Sometimes what can happen is while you are reading the questions, you may forget about the initial paras. Therefore, what you can do is even in the paper itself, you just mark, highlight, do all the things that you want to do here. Right? Lesson paper try karanne. So you just write, highlight everything when you are reading like that. So then it will go inside of your mind. It's a very important point, right? So while I am also reading this one, I will try to highlight the things and identify the key point here. So that will make more memory about the questions. Right? Now see this, for example, this pre-scene. So what I have done, see, I have written so many stuff, see, highlighted in different colors, right? See, right? So I have done a lot of stuffs here. So I'm asking you to do similar stuffs here. So what you can do is while you are reading, right? So make sure that you do all this highlighting and writing and identify the key points. So because when it is a large, right? When it is a large questions, right? So you may forget about initial steps, right? The first para, C is a tea trend targeting the global tea market. I see this tea brand targeting the global tea market. So our market is the global, right? Especially the Middle Eastern and European market. So our main market is Middle East and European markets. The brand is developed by Ceylon. You say Ceylon, and even though it's not there, at Ceylon Private Limited, a newly established entity under the Companies Act of Sri Lanka. See this, it has mentioned that it's a newly established entity. Should not be a well-experienced company. It's a newly established entity under the Companies Act of Sri Lanka. From its establishment onwards, the management has only been in the hands of 5 partners. Now see it do some more idea about the ownerships. From its establishment onward, the management has only been in the hands of 5 partners. Right? So this may be one of the stakeholders, no? In this particular scenario, like one of the stakeholders. We talk about shareholders, 5 partners. So you see, you may use a different color and then identify the first stakeholder party. You can do that one easily here. Management has only been in the hands of 5 partners who work as directors of the company. All these people work as directors also in the company. Of the company, their primary goal is to develop a good brand. So their primary goal is to develop a good brand without handling other operational activities. See this, something interesting. What they're telling is their primary goal is to develop a good brand without handling other operational activities, such as those in relation to tea plantation, manufacturing, packaging, and distributing. So that means you are trying to specialize in a selected area. You are not going to do all the activities related with your value chain. Now you know what is value chain, no? So value chain describes the value creating activities of the organizations. So when it comes to this organization, these people, they are not planning to ignore in all that. Instead, they prefer to select 1 or 2 activities and focus on that one. So that gives the opportunity for outsourcing. That gives the opportunity for outsourcing. We identify one of the questions become was outsourcing. Right. So outsourcing. Now, right. Without handling other operational activities. So they clearly say some of the activities they are not preferring to do. That means plantation work, they're not going to do that. That means they're going to purchase from someone else. Even manufacturing, they're not going to do. Packaging also even outsourcing. Distributing also outsourcing. Right? However, they intend to expand the business in the long run based on the company's performance. Long run, they may think to expand the business activities. So initially, they are restricted themselves to a few activities, and later, subsequently, they may have a plan to do more activities. That means, so integrations, no? If you remember the question part B, so they were talking about vertical integrations. These are some hints to cover that part, right? So at the moment, they don't expect it to do all these activities, and later they may expand their activities. So they intended to expand the business in the long run based on the company's performance to run the business smoothly. They have signed agreement with AL, SN Lanka and Ali Brothers as their product suppliers and distributors. See. Now more informations, right? Now what they have mentioned is to run the business smoothly, they have signed agreement with ALS Lanka suppliers, Ali Brothers distributors, right? So a very interesting one, right? So supplier, distributor. Now see, now so already a lot of stock parties is given. Initially, so they talk about customers. Here customers actually, they give some idea about what type of customers we have. Then they talk about directors. Now they talk about suppliers and distributors also. However, the profit margin shares among these stakeholders are high compared to industry standard. Therefore, the price set for this brand is also high. See this next point. However, the profit margin shared among these stakeholders are high. That means suppliers and distributors may enjoy more profit. These stakeholders are high compared to industry standard. Therefore, the price set for this brand is also high. So our price is high. Right? Our price is high. Right? So now this is related with their supply chain. This is related with their supply chain. When it comes to the supply chain, initially they have the suppliers. No? They have suppliers. Now, then we can identify these particular organizations. Then they have distributors. Distributors. This is C. Our company. Then here you can identify the distributors. Right. So this supply work was done by whom? This supply work was done by ASL in Lanka. No? ASL Lanka. So supplier name is also given. ASL Lanka. Right. ASL Lanka. ASL in Lanka. In distributor work was done by Ali Brothers. That was done by Ali Brothers. Now, see, you talk about some more information related with this. So what they are telling me is, when you look at about these two parties, actually, they are enjoying more profit margin. We know ultimately the product will be purchased by the customer. The price customers is going to pay here. Price customers is going to pay here depend on how much add by each party in the supply chain. Right. So here the customers is paying for the product. So that is defined on that is defined based on the value addition by each party in the supply chain. Right? For example, you see supplier is adding 10 rupee. Here they are going to add 10 rupee, right? 10 rupee. Then we also add 10 rupee. Distributor also at 10 rupee. Then the price supply customer is going to get the product is 30. 30 is the amount. Now what the question says is partners in the supply chain is adding more margin. So that has led for high price of the products. So that's the point highlighted by the examiner. So that means the suppliers, then distributors, they charge a higher amount. They charge a higher amount that ultimately make the product price is high. So that's the point. I think it's clear for you, right? That's the point, right? Now see the profit margin share among the these stakeholders are high compared to industry standard. That's the point they have mentions. Right? So profit share, profit margin, these stakeholders are high. I think it's clear for you. Therefore, the price set for this brand is also high. Right. There's another point I think you can get here. So what is the other point you can get here is right. So we are not applying any cost relationship strategy. So cost leadership may not be practical for these organizations. Cost leadership is not practical for these organizations. They may apply more differentiated related strategy since they are charging higher price from the customers. Right? Right. Then we'll move to the para number 2. The pandemic has put many restrictions on the brand from the day it was launched. So recent past brand, no. So initially also it was mentioned, no. That sees a pre-brand target the global tea market, especially the Middle Eastern and European market. The brand is developed by Ceylon Private Limited, a newly established entity under the Companies Act of Sri Lanka. So, see, when it comes to this, what we can get here is this is not a brand which is very old. This was launched actually during the pandemic time. See, it has mentioned pandemic time. The brand was launched. Right. Something. Right. Then what they talk about this, the management of Ceylon has decided to introduce it to the local market at a higher price than existing brand like Dilmah, Watol and Ahmad. You see, initially, they are going to launch the product from local market. At the same time, they have mentioned that they are going to launch the product at a higher price than existing brand. So should we know why your sentence talk about the profit margin enjoyed by other parties like suppliers and distributors. No, they enjoy higher profit margin. Therefore, it's not practical to offer the good at a lower price. As a strategy, they use only modern trade MT to make the brand easily available and reach its target group. So look at that one. As a strategy, they use only modern trade to make the brand easily available and reach its target group. The company directors have invested a considerable amount of money in developing its flagship brand, CT, and have agreed not to account for any amount as profit sharing among partners until they recover the amount invested on brand development. So what is that? They're not going to share profit at all, no. They're going to retain the profit until brand become a more profitable one. So maybe these owners may not be happy on this, right? This decision led to some directors having to find other income sources for a living. So they don't have income now. Staff members are also not happy with the decision, and as there would be some salary cut. See, staff members also not happy on this one. See, another stakeholder, staff members. This resulted in their focus not being mainly on the CT ban. However, the company witnessed growth in their top line and decided to expand its product line from black tea and green tea to wellness tea. They achieved some growth now and decided to expand its product line from black tea and green tea to wellness tea. Then, due to economic recession in Sri Lanka, the government decided to encourage more export to bring more dollars into the country. Subsidies were proposed by the government for those who operate in the export market. So should be opportunity. Therefore, Ceylon also decided to expand its business to other countries, which anyway was its original plan. Bank and other lending institutions also agreed to lend the required fund to Ceylon for its overseas operations. Now, banks and other financial institutions, another stakeholder party. Banks and other lending institutions also agreed to lend the required fund to Ceylon for its overseas operations. In the meantime, the management of Ceylon also wondered whether to continue their business with the existing operating strategy or think of a new approach from outsourcing to backward and forward integrations. That is connect with the developing part of the questions. So we look at about that statement again. In the meantime, the management of Ceylon also wondered whether to continue their business with the existing operating strategy or think of a new approach from outsourcing to backward and forward integrations. Existing strategy means they involve only the limited number of activities, no? So much of them are done by other partners. Think of a new approach from outsourcing to backward and forward integrations. At the moment, we have outsourced, no? Strategy is outsourced, whether they want to go with backward and forward integration strategy. Right. Assume that you have been appointed as a consultant to Ceylon and are expected to respond to the following questions. Right now, we have some idea. Now the questions. Anything you want to get clarified before moving to the question part? Right. First one, part E. Required part E. Analyze the significance of the stakeholders of Ceylon by using Mendelov matrix and explain how to manage those stakeholders. Analyze the significance of the stakeholders of Ceylon. Now, so where we want to start when we are doing our questions? Start from the action verb, no? Here, the action verb given is analyze. What is the meaning of analyze? So analyze, normally when you use paper, no? Action verb meaning. So examine in detail in order to determine the solutions or outcome. That is the action verb. So examine in detail in order to determine the solution or outcome. So one thing is clear. So your analysis should not be a summary analysis. Your analysis should be a detailed one. Your analysis should be a detailed one. That's the first point you want to know here. Right? Since analysis word is used, should be a detailed one. Examine in detail in order to determine the solutions. So to give a solutions or outcome, right? So we have to look at about the stakeholders in details by using Mendelow's matrix. In other words, look at about the stakeholders in details by using Mendelow's matrix and explain how to manage those stakeholders. Actually, question include two parts. Very important point here. Question include two parts. This is the first part. Analyze the significance of stakeholder Ceylon by using Mendelov matrix. Then see there is another part. Explain how to manage those stakeholders. So two parts are there. If you look at our theory, you have learned related with the Mendelov matrix. Actually, Mendelov matrix include two theory parts. Right? Two theory parts. First of all, by using the matrix, we analyze or we group stakeholders into four stakeholder groups are identified. Four stakeholder groups are identified. Then the second part is we identify the appropriate strategies to manage those stakeholders. Right? So now when it comes to Mendelov matrix, you may remember Mendelov matrix. There are four parts, no? Four parts. So under the mental metrics, what we normally do is we classify stakeholders based on four or two actually, two variable. One is their relative interest. The relative interest can be low or it can be high. Low or high. Then at the same time, their relative power, no? Their relative power can be low or high. Low, high. Right. So two variable. So what are those two variable? Is interest. Other one is the power. Right. Take here power. This is power. Then here interest. All of interest. Right. Now, when it comes to the strategies part, normally group A, related with the A, strategy is to give a minimum effort. You don't want to worry much on them. When it comes to B, since their interest is high, right, better to inform when we are doing something. C, so their power is high. Therefore, we have to satisfy their requirement. At the same time, they can, at any time, they can move to the D. D normally call it as key players. D are normally key players. Since at any time they can move to D, you have to handle with care. Is satisfy. At the same time, you want to treat them with care. In D, when it comes to the D, they are the most important stakeholder group. That's why we say key players. So we have to accept whatever we do should be acceptable to them. So if it is not acceptable to them, practically, we are unable to implement our strategy. Right? So Java actually, this D is the most important stakeholder party here. Now see, I told you at the beginning, so this Mendelov matrix have two parts. This is the first part. You categorize them into four groups. Then the next one is identify the appropriate strategy to manage them. So your question is based on this. If we go to the questions again, now see your questions. First part talk about this identifying stakeholders with the Mendelov matrix. The second part is explain how to manage those stakeholders. How to manage those stakeholders is the second part. right? So therefore, it tests your theory knowledge related with this, right? Mendelov matrix. It's a very popular area, guys. Mendelov matrix is very popular area. Subject like SML, right? It's very important to identify the key tools tested by the examiner. Mendelov is such a tool. If you work on this key topic area, so actually, then you can pass the exam. Otherwise, it's not practical to remember everything in the study bag. See the study bags. So it's a huge one. No? For a 50 marks, how can you remember everything here? Not practical, guys. So focus on the key areas. Now, if you look at this current existing syllabus, there is no prize winner at all for this SML subject. No one got a prize in SML. That indicate how much this paper is difficult, right? So I remember when I was lecturing this VVC, for example, during 2015 to 2020 period. So there were 10 papers in that syllabus. Then there were 9 prize winners, except one paper. Right, the first time actually, last time, right, there were no prize winners. Except that, 2015 December, there was no prize winners. Except that all other time, there were prize winners. Even I remember there were 7 prize winners from me, consecutive prize winners. But now it's a different story, right? So, in this SML subject, there are no prize winners at all. So that give some indications about how difficult this paper, right? Because it's not practical to remember everything here. It's not practical to remember everything here. Therefore, you want to identify the key tools given this SML subject and study them in detail. So Mendelov is such tool, and Mendelov is such tool, right? Right. Now, what we have done is we have looked at about this Mendelov matrix also a little bit. Now we already know who are the stakeholder parties also, right? This who are the stakeholders we have identified. Initially, we identify this the directors, or in other words, shareholders. We can call them as customers. Information was there, right? Customers. Then we found suppliers, employees. Then bank and other financial institutions. So directly, there were some stakeholders given, right? Right. So what are the stakeholders we have identified based on the questions information? We found one is employees. So we start from shareholders. Shareholders, so we can directors, they are the directors. Then employee may be 2 parts, management, then other employees, then customers, then suppliers, distributors, right? So anything else? This bank and financial institution also there, no? We'll take them on number 7. Banks and financial institutions. Financial institutions. In addition, what normally you can identify this government. So we can't ignore the government, general public. So within the information itself, you can identify 7 parties. Identify more government, then identify another one, General public. And these are common parties actually. In any case, you can identify these last two common parties. Right. Now see this last two. These are common. Commonly after mental metric we can put them inside. Right. These are the parties I have identified. Then we'll look at about where we can put them. Where we can put them. Shareholders who directors, where we can put them. Shareholders who directors. Anyone? Let me know where we can identify them. Shareholders or directors. It depends on your argument, right? Normally, shareholders or directors should have more interest about the business now, right? Should have more interest about the business, right? At the same time, their power is very high. Therefore, you can classify them into D group, right? You can classify them into D group. So they are the key players. What about management? Now, if you look at about the management, their interest is also high. Interest also high. At the same time, their power is also high. Again, you can identify them as key players. Again, management is a key player. The employees, think about the employees, right? So, interest, normally employees' interest is high, no? Normally employee interest is high. That's true, employee interest is high. But when it comes to individual level, right? That means when you look at about their power at the individual level, power at the individual level is normally low, no? Right? If you forget about operational, if you forget about the normal employee who is working at a lower level, practically their power is very low. Think about we'll say account assistant. Large organizations. What do you think about account assistant? Do they have more power? No, they don't have more power in a large organizations. No, so therefore their power is low. Now, then where we can put them? Right? B, no. So employee can be put in B. Customers, what do you think about customers? So we have customers in Middle East and also in European regions, no? What do you think? If you have so many customers, I don't think their power is high, right? It depends on your assumption. Interest may be high, right? But power may be low or high depending on the nature of the customers. Here we don't have much information on that. So I will still put them in B. Anyway, so up to you, right? You have to have a sound argument, then your point is correct. Suppliers, I think here the supplies power is high, no? Interest may be low, right? Distributors also, I think they are in C, right? Power is high, but interest may be low because they may be have so many customers. Like for example, Akbar they have mentioned, very large organization, no? So this particular organization may be a small one for them. Therefore, their interest will be very minimum on that, right? Then bank and financial institutions, it depends on your argument. If we are negligible, I don't think they are much interest, have much interest. Power may be high sometime if we are highly depending on them. If we are not highly depending on them, we have taken very small amount, then the bank power may be very low, right? Here I will put here, I will put under C. It depends on your argument, right? Government always come under C, no? Their interest is normally low regarding one entity, but their power is high. General public, what do you think? Interest is low, normally individual persons, power is also low. There may be any comments from your end? That's the way I categorize them. Do you have any comments on this? Or any other difference viewpoint? It depends on your argument, guys. Huh? So in the exam, you have to tell why you are putting them under that particular group. Say if you say customers, if you are going to put customer under C, for example, then you have to tell why you are going to put customer under C. You say you assume that there are some large customers and they can influence us. Based on that one, you are going to put customer under C, right? Normally, here the management is actually the top management. So normally, top management should normally have high power and high interest. That's why I put under D. It depends on your argument, right? My answer may not be 100% matching to the examiner's answer. So maybe 80 to 70% matching. Then some of the part may be different. But here the point is how I am going to argue. Based on that, you can get marks. Right. Any more questions? Right. Then we'll move the paper. Again, we'll this answer. This is suggested answer. See this where this examiner has put that. Key players. Even see these distributors and suppliers, he has put under key players. I put them under C. My argument was they are very strong and this organization may not be much important for them. So I argue on that point. But see, I say 70 to 80% matching. So see, directors management matching, no? So see, directors management matching. Right? Power high, level high. Government, see, I told you that government interest is normally low and power is high. Right? Then customer, see, matching. Then see, power, banks, individual employees, power is low, interest is high. In general public should be under the low, no? Low category. Right? Level of interest is low, then at the same time, power is also low. See, 70 to 80% matching, and certain things are not matching. It depends on your argument. You have to strongly argue this is the reasons why you move into that particular group. Right? Any questions? Right. I'm not going through the answers, right? You go through the answers, right? So the strategy also given, you know this, I have shown the theory answer, right? Since we don't have time, I'm not going through that, right? Those are the 4 strategies we have identified. So we identify 4 strategies. This A should be minimum effort, B inform, C is satisfy and treated with care, D acceptable. Those are the 4 you have to write. Right. Then we'll look at about the B part of the questions. Part B of the questions. Analyze the way forward plan of the company in continuing its operation with outsourcing or doing vertical integrations. Again, the action verb used here is analyze. Right? Analyze the way forward plan of the company in continuing its operation with outsourcing or doing vertical integrations. At the moment, what do you think? Is that fine to continue with outsourcing? What do you think? Can someone let me know the answer? Is it acceptable to continue the operations with the outsourcing? It was mentioned we are doing only a limited activities. No, we prefer to outsource the things. Say it was mentioned, see here, their primary goal is develop a good brand. So they are worried about the marketing. They are involved in the marketing activities, developing good brand without handling other operational activities. Marketing is done by them, but other activities, the plantation work, manufacturing, packaging, distributing, those are outsourced. What do you think about this? Analyze the way forward plan of the company continuing its operation with outsourcing. So we are not going to do those activities like packaging, right? Then distributing, even manufacturing, then plant work. No, we get it from third parties. Is that a correct way, or do you think the company should involve in other activities also? Can anyone tell me? This vertical integration is very important area, right? This vertical integration is very important area. This is a part of diversification. No? This is so often tested in the exam. A part of diversifications. Can anyone tell? Quickly think and let. You have to get the facts given in the questions and then you have to argue. So I think, is this a well-experienced company or is this a new company? That is my first questions. So it was mentioned, this is a newly established entity. A newly established entity. Do you have capacity to do all these things? These are my questions. At the beginning, do they have capacity to do all these activities? Or do they have a very limited capacity? Normally, initially, actually, they have very limited capacity. No, it's not practical to do everything. So better, I think, to continue with the existing strategy. Better to continue with the existing strategy. Right? They somewhere else see this last part. It was mentioned in the meantime, the manager of Ceylon also wonder whether to continue their business with the existing operator strategy or think of a new approach from outsourcing, backward and forward integration. So they can do this forward and backward integration when it become right. some known brand, and when they have grown, developed, they can do that. Do you remember what is vertical integrations? Vertical integrations? Now, if you remember this ANSOP strategies, ANSOP strategies, ANSOP identify 4 strategies, no? 4 strategies. Again, ANSOP identify these 4 strategies based on 2 variables. You remember this ANSOP strategies? He actually market. This is market. This is a product. Yeah, in fact, 4 strategies. No? So when it comes to diversifications, you remember diversifications. When it comes to diversifications, so diversifications can be two parts. What are the 2 diversifications? Related diversification, no? Related diversification. Other one is unrelated diversification, no? Unrelated diversifications, right? Then again, related diversification is divided into 2. What are the 2? Can someone let me know? Related diversification is divided into 2. Can someone let me know? Check your knowledge. Hey guys, you are going to write the exam, no? Very soon. Related diversification can be divided into 2. What are the 2? Vertical and horizontal. Vertical. Another one is horizontal. Horizontal diversifications. And then vertical is divided into 2. Divided into 2 can be backward integrations backward integration, other one is forward integration. So forward integrations, right? So now questions, power. I will look at about the questions. Actually, questions cover this area. Questions cover this area, right? So now we know. So vertical mean you started to do a job within your supply chain. Vertical mean you started to do some work within your supply chain. This is related with your supply chain. Supply chain. Right. So you started to do supplier work or distributor work. So if you go backward, that means you started to do the supply work. Supply work. So this is supply work. Then if you go forward, that means you started to do the distributor work. Now at the moment, these two done by two organizations. No? So Ali, for example, our distribution is only done by the Ali. In the future, so you can do your own distributions. Maybe Ali may be there. In addition to that, you can start your own distributions. Right? The forward one, backward supply. We at the moment we take tea from only one supplier. Then in the future we can buy tea by ourselves. For example, maybe Colombo tea auctions. We can buy the tea in the Colombo tea auctions. Right? In there, we started to do the work of the supply, that is backward integrations. Right? So if you start our own distributions, that is forward integrations. Right? So now here the questions, when you look at about the questions, doing vertical integration, you can do that one in the future, not at the moment. And what are the advantage you can get having this vertical integrations? You can mention that also. Vertical integrations. Now see this advantage of vertical integrations. Later, you can start the work of supply and distributor. You can mention by doing that one, when we become a growth company, then we can start to do the work of supply and distributor. We can get some advantages like this: a secure supply of component or material, hence lower supply bargaining power, stronger relationship with the final consumer of the product, a share of the profit at all stages of the value network, more effective pursuit of differentiation strategy, creation of barriers to entry. So you can mention those things also in your answer. Right. Shall we look at what examiners say on this one? See, huge answer. Right. Since Ceylon is in the development stage, the study of outsourcing is good for them. Still, since they are in the development stage, so strategy of outsourcing is good for them. While focusing on specialization of branding, it can outsource the other operation aspect of the business to specialized third party, such as manufacturing, packaging, and distribution can be outsourced to third party to get the maximum outcome. So what they are doing at the moment. So due to outsourcing, there will be great operational flexibility for the company, and the company can reallocate time and resources to core competencies such as customer relationship, product leadership. This ultimately result in advantage of a competing business in the tea industry. On the other hand, there can also be a lot of disadvantage of outsourcing. There can be communication issues that delay productions. So you mentioned about some of the disadvantage also. How in the future the company then think of vertical integrations, right? So in the future he's talking about that one, right? Then he explained how vertical integration can be done. We talk about this backward and forward integrations. He explained that one. Become a supplier and the distributor, right? Then two paras actually he has mentioned. Even see this Ali Brothers, he say that so in addition to Ali Brothers, we can also start doing that one. Even we can go to international market and do the distribution work. Then the last para allocated to talk about the advantage you can obtain from this integration. See. So the last point I have shown you. See, examiner expect lot, right? You have to do that one carefully. Not easy paper. Any questions, guys? Any questions related with this? Right. Then we'll move to part C. Identify two critical success factors and recommend one key performance indicator for each CSF under the following spheres of activities of Stallone. That's very simple one. We know the relation between critical success factors and the KPI. Critical success factors are qualitative statement. KPIs are quantitative statement. Normally, in relation to CSF, we identify KPIs, no? Right. So, marketing and sales, what are CSF? Maybe sales growth, brand awareness, right? Then when it comes to KPIs, you can identify things like, say, profit, increase profit by 5%, then increase market share by 10%, like that. Distribution and logistic, the speed of the distributions, right? Even you can consider about the cost factor also. Yeah, how much the cost we are spending on that one. Right? Efficiency, actually, we can focus on efficiency. Human resources. HR, what are the CSF you can take? Employee turnover. Employee turnover, no, should be low. Then even you can consider about absenteeism, employee absenteeism, even training and development. Then you can have some KPIs related with that one. Maybe absenteeism less than 5% in a year, turnover less than 5% in a year. Then training and development, you can identify average training for employee maybe more than 10 days for a year, like that. You can identify some KPIs. That can be handled. Like this is theory one. There's nothing to worry on that. Here, see this example given by the examiner. So, marketing and sales, sales growth is one example he has taken. The KPI is increase sales volume by 10% next year. Increase market share by 2%. Increase sales for sales people by 5%. Increase the number of new account by 5% next quarter. Only right, one KPI you want to do. No, he has given 4 examples. Brand loyalty is another one. Increase brand awareness by 5% during the next year. Distribution and logistic, what are the CSF has taken? Reliable delivery service. Provide the right stock of the right amount to the right place. The stock replenishing within 2 days. KPIs. Delivery speed, maintain 100% of deliveries on time. So we'll say the identified delivery time, we'll say maybe 2 days is the delivery time. We agree, then KPI is whether we have fulfilled that requirement within the given time, within 2 days. HR employee turnover has taken here. See, maintain staff turnover below 5% every year. I took this even employee absenteeism, even training costs. Then employee satisfaction, increase job application receive for job vacancies by 1% every year. That's also interesting one. That means people are happy externally. Reduce employee cost by 2% by the next 3 months. Very tough KPI. Right, I don't want to go through much on that since right, there is very easy one. Right, then we have to look at about the question number 2. Question number 2. Then shall we have a 10-minute break, quick 10-minute break before discussing this question number 2? We'll meet again at 8 o'clock, right? Right, welcome back. Right, question number 2. So first of all, we'll read the questions. Look at the part A here. Outline the factors that LML should consider when deciding on a market entry strategy for the Middle Eastern market. Outline the factors that LML should examine when deciding on a market entry strategy for the Middle Eastern market. Right. So there should be market entry, no, to the Middle East, 10 marks. In part B, discuss how McKinsey 7S model can be used to evaluate and implement the building of a cutting-edge, full automated modern manufacturing plant. 11 marks. 11 marks. At 11 marks, I test your knowledge of 7S model. C, explain the reason for measuring non-financial variable when evaluating strategies of business. That is pure theory, no? No related with the given scenario. It's theory. Now that can be addressed. Earlier one also, theory, no, the last part, here also examine strategies, test the theory part. Application is less here. A and B are more applications questions. Right. Now we know 7S is tested here. Then at the same time, market entry studies are also tested. And we'll go through the questions given. Lanka Willfood Private Limited is a well-known food and beverage services brand in Sri Lanka. Lanka Willfood Private Limited is a well-known food and beverage services brand in Sri Lanka. In short term, it is LWL, no? So they are in food and beverage industry. LWL was established by Saman Elabad, a civil servant in the 1930s, a well-established organization. 1930s means almost 100 years, no? LW has been manufacturing, distributing, and exporting natural foods that include a range of jams, sauces, 100% fruit juices, chutneys, pickle, purees, canned food, pure pickle, and much more since its inceptions. So they're giving what are the products they manufacture, distribute, and export. And these are food and beverage brands, no? The initial stages of the food processing were facilitated in Ratnapur and Colombo. That means they should have factories, no, in Ratnapur and Colombo. Currently, LWL has a brand present in 12 countries, including the UK, USA, Canada, Japan, and Australia. So currently, LWL has a brand present in 12 countries. So they are in 12 countries, including the UK, USA, Canada, Japan, and Australia. The rich countries, no? UK, USA, when you see these names, Canada and Australia, has the vision of, look at the visions, to be the leading premium exporter for agricultural products. To be the leading premium exporter for agricultural products, the company now wants to enter the considerably more lucrative market, Middle Eastern market, through wholly owned overseas production or exporting. Vision is to be the leading premium exporter for agricultural product. Premium, not maybe working on the cost, right? More working on differentiations. The company now want to enter the considerably more lucrative Middle Eastern market. Now they want to enter the Middle East market. What are the options they are trying to apply? Through wholly owned overseas of production? No, they are going to establish wholly owned overseas production unit. Who other options they are thinking about? Exporting. Now see, this question is related to this one. No? Now see this, it's a factors that LWL should examine when deciding on a market entry strategy. Now see this, when you talk about the market entry, now they think about two options. One is to go for wholly owned overseas production. Other one is exporting. What is the topic he's targeting here in the party? So from what topic this has been tested? Can someone let me know? Internationalization. See, these are little things I think you have to be careful. If you go to this syllabus weightages, for example, if you go to syllabus weightages, like this internationalization is having a 10%. This chapter number 15 is allocated for that one. Right? See, so examiner must test a question from this area. He doesn't have any options. He must test the question from chapter number 15. Right? Then technology also the same. He must test the questions from this area, 10%. He can't ignore. Right? So therefore, easily you can take this to 20 actually. Because those are very simple two topics. Chapter number 14 and 15. So those are two areas that you have to work hard in there. Right? So see, to make sure that he's right, meeting this requirement, what he has done is he has check the questions from that one. He has developed a scenario and test a question from that. That's a 10-mark questions. Right? Right. Then LW management strictly adhere to quality and products are produced under stringent quality control standard with certification of HACCP and ISO 22000 ordered by SGS and endorsed by UKAS management system. Look at that part. So LWL management strictly adhere to quality and products are produced under stringent quality control standard with certification of HACCP and ISO 22000 ordered by SGS and endorsed by UKAS management system. So their product quality is high, they have obtained some standard certification also. At a recently concluded strategic workshop, Kirti, Alapatha, the CEO of LWL emphasized the importance of expanding its international footprint even further. So they want to more focus about international market. He justified his decisions by claiming that it is the only way to address Sri Lanka's current economic crisis. So he thinks that's the only way to address current Sri Lankan crisis. He stated that because of brand recognitions and food quality, they can enter any country they want. But the true challenge was determining the best market entry strategy. So you have to determine what is the best strategy. He also emphasized that many factors must be considered before deciding on an appropriate market entry strategy. He also emphasized that many factors must be considered before deciding an appropriate market entry strategy. So that's why there's a sentence that connect with the questions. If you look at the part AC, outline the factors that LW should examine when deciding on a market entry strategy for the Middle Eastern market. So the sentence is connected with this one. In line with the foreign growth initiative described by the CEO, LWL Chief Operating Officer, COO, proposed the construction of a state-of-the-art fully automated modern manufacturing plant in Padukka. So they want to establish new manufacturing plant in Padukka. At the moment, I think they have two plants, no, where that is located, Ratnapura and Colombo. This new one, they are planning to establish in Paduk, still in the Colombo district, but this is a modern one, no? Fully automated modern manufacturing plant in Paduk. He emphasized that LKR 4.5 billion in capital expenditure, capex should be allocated for this project. LKR 4.5 billion in capital expenditure capex should be allocated for this project, and it should be finished before embarking on the international expansion strategy. Despite the continuing economic crisis, trade union members were curious about this major development. The CEO stated that without such a production facility, meeting the expanding international demand would be difficult. He went on to say that other factors such as government policy and providing subsidies for export should be considered when analyzing strategic decision like this. So already one factor he has given, no, when you are considering about this, right? International demand, government policy and providing subsidy for export. See, so already one factor has been given by the examiner himself, right? So look at the questions, party. Here, what is the action verb given here is outline. It's an interesting one. So outline is not a detailed one. So we look at about the meaning of outline first. Yeah, outline, make a summary of significant features. Outline mean make a summary of significant features, right? Make a summary of significant features. So no need for a detailed discussion here, right? Summary of significant feature. That means, right, you want to identify a factor, then maybe 2 to 3 sentence explanations. Right, outline the factors that LW should examine when deciding on a market entry strategy for the Middle Eastern market. 10 marks. Now, when you look at about this, now I told you this is tested for internationalization topic. We'll go to that study facts. Look at about theory part. Ways of entering new market. Is that the area he's focusing? Market entry strategy, no? Market entry strategy. The international topic is very tricky. Make a hurry internationalization topic. Why I'm saying like that, there are different areas. So you should know what is the requirement here. Right? Now here, actually the question is tested from the area number 8. Otherwise, you may think about some other model. Like, see, there are a lot of things. For example, here, see this 12C framework. You may use 12C framework, OCage framework. Right? Here it is not asking evaluating international market. They ask you market entry strategy. Right? Market entry strategy. So since it has mentioned the market entry strategy, so ways of entering new market. Right? Market entry strategy. Ways of entering new markets. Exporting, direct export. Exporting two options. No? Export, that is direct export, and other one is indirect export. He has mentioned about the overseas production options, so then exporting options, no? Contract manufacture, wholly on overseas production. That's the strategy he has mentioned here. And now here, see, you see, a large number of considerations apply. When you take a decision to entry for a foreign market, there are so many factors to be considered. So examiner want to test this area. Right? So that's the last thing in your study facts actually. He tested the question from that. Now the question is the outer factors that LMS should examine when deciding on a market entry strategy. for the Middle Eastern market. 10 marks, right? So now when you look at about these questions, there are a large number of considerations apply. Right? When you're thinking about market entry, right? Now even see, find out the place where the question is raised is a difficult one. Not an easy job, guys, this one. easy නෑ. දැන් මේ හැම දෙයක්ම හොඳට පාඩම් කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Otherwise, you will stuck in the exam. So that is my personal experience as a lecturer for the same subject for the last 17 years. Right? Last 17 years. In fact, I started to lecture this subject in 2007. Now that you can get an idea. 2007 strategic management was there actually. 2010 to 2015 strategic management was there. Then 15-20 BBC was there. Similar content was covered. Right? So now see, I don't think at least 5% people answer the question from this area. They may fail to identify, they may talk about some general factors. Anyway, they may get some few marks, but not sufficient marks. Right? So these are the factors: the firm's marketing objectives, the firm size, mode availability, right? Mode quality, human resource requirement, market feedback information, learning curve requirement, risk control needs. So we'll see whether the examiner has used the same. See what he's telling. LWL has a brand present in 12 countries, including the UK, the US, Canada, Japan, and Australia. Now we extract from the case itself. It now want to assess the far more profitable Middle Eastern market. If a company decides to expand its global footprint, the way in which it does so is important is long-term strategic success. Right? Foreign market entry strategies can be generally divided into two main categories: exporting and overseas productions. A variety of factors must be considered when deciding on an appropriate market entry strategy. See, now if you look at the theory part, choice of market entry method, a large number of considerations apply. So see this one. Normally cut-off mark is 50. You say 45. No. Normally pass mark is 50. Right? SML 50. Or for any paper 50. Right. Now here see. Now here's identify these points. First point is advantage with the proposed entry strategy include lower distribution cost and lower production costs associated with the overseas production, and with exporting there is a minimizing of overheads. He talked about these two strategies and talk about that. Key issues such as exchange rate fluctuation, overseas government policy on protectionism, political risk will have a major impact on the market entry strategy. You'll see whether those things are there. Now, those are general points. No, he has taken out of that one, out of this general point, few general points, right? Then management involvement, exporting user require less involvement of the management, whereas overseas production need more management involved. You compare these two methods, no? The most suitable method of entry varies among firms in the same industry. LW has a long established exporter may have to edge over a new exporter. Nature of the market, some countries limit import to protect domestic manufacture, whereas others promote free trade. LM need to analyze the nature of the Middle Eastern market. Still common factors he has given. Then government policy framework, some countries are more hostile to direct inward investment by foreign companies. LW should carefully evaluate the Middle Eastern countries' policy framework toward free trade. So these are actually more common factors he has taken. Then last he has taken from this also, learning curve requirements, risk control needs. Last three factors. Other things are common things he has taken. These three have been taken from the theory part. And now it becomes more difficult, no? Right? Now see, yes, go. So some of things he has taken from the general understanding. Then other things have been taken from the theory notes. Very tough. If you study whole stuff and go and write these things as it is, so probably you will get probably will say 4 marks or 5 marks maximum if you write that 3 point correctly, right? But still you lose 5 marks. That is out of the theory part. It's general understanding. You have to write that. Now you can get an idea how difficult this is, right? Now taking 50 marks is very challenging. Probably this is the most difficult paper in the strategic level, right? So, any questions? Now, biology not easy. That's why pre-scene play an important role. If you have worked hard and do more things in pre-scene, then you can get more marks. Unfortunately, what happened is people ignore the pre-scene at all and go for the exam. The lowest mark normally get for the pre-scene questions. Now, this part is difficult. Then at least you have to get some mark for the pre-scene. No? Right, any questions? Right. Then part B, discuss how McKinsey's 7S model can be used to evaluate and implement the building of a cutting-edge, fully automated modern manufacturing plant. 11 marks. This McKinsey one is also very popular area in the exams. McKinsey 7S model. Also very important area from your exam point of view. And give me 1 second. Now see when you look at about the past paper questions tested, these are some of the very popular areas from the examiner's point of view. Right? This see this, for example, generic competitive strategies tested so often. Is CSF very popular area. Key KPI. Now see, we saw those things also here. The 7S, see the 7S. How many times it has been tested in the past papers? So huge. Right? These are key topics actually. Exam like this, actually, you have to identify what are the key model to be familiarized, and then you have to go for the exam. Right? So otherwise, it will be very hard experience for you. Right? Right. I just want to show you this important of this one. This is 7S model. So that has been tested. So openly in the exam. Right? So discuss how McKinsey's 7S model can be used to evaluate and implement the building cutting edge fully automated modern manufacturing plant, right? So McKinsey's discuss how McKinsey's 7S model can be used to evaluate and implement the building of a cutting edge, fully automated modern manufacturing plant. Now, you have to understand the scope here first, right? You have to understand the scope here first. What is the scope here, right? How McKinsey's 7S model can be used to evaluate and implement the building of a cutting edge, fully automated modern manufacturing plant. Now, my question is, do we want to use McKinsey's 7S for the whole information given? No. Do we want to use this only for that modern manufacturing plant? So what purpose McKinsey 7S model is used normally? Now, I have a question for you. Do we want to use for the whole organization, or do we want to use only for the modern manufacturing plant? What is your answer? Can someone give me an answer on this one? No answer. Please give me an answer. Yes, that's the point actually. First of all, you have to understand the scope of the questions. So, scope of the questions is this should be applied only for the fully automated modern manufacturing plant. Right. Normally, when it comes to strategy evaluations, right? So I will talk about a little bit on this theory part also related with this one. Someone has requested this past trip analysis. I sent that one. I hope you have received that. Someone has requested past trip analysis. Please someone confirm me whether you have received or not. Okay, right. So I will go to theory part a little bit here. Now you go to this chapter, right? History, then you can find that. Right. Now, when it comes to the evaluation of strategies, when it comes to evaluations of strategies, so how many tools suggested by the study facts? It can be used for the evaluation purpose. Can someone let me know? How many tools suggested by the examiner for evaluation of strategies? There are two tools. Can someone name two tools? Hey guys, theory, right? What are the two tools? One is S-shape model, no? S-shape model. Other one is 7S model. The one is 7S model. So examiner tests your knowledge related with the 7S model here. Right? 7S model. For the evaluation purpose, we can use 7S model. So what to be evaluated here, we are going to establish a new production facility, no, modern art production facility in Paduk. Through that, we have to come to a conclusion whether this is a more feasible option or not. Right? So if you remember what you have learned in the 7S model, there are mainly two components in 7S model. Two elements. What are those two elements? One is hard element. One is hard element. Other one is soft element. Hard element and the soft element. Right? So what is hard element? Can someone let me know what is hard element? So normally more tangible and easily defined variable. Soft elements normally more intangible nature and very difficult to define also. Tangible, easily defined here. These are more intangible nature. Intangible, difficult to identify and define. Difficult to identify and define. Right? Right. So in 7S model, you remember how many element of hard? How many hard elements? Can someone let me know? Four hard element or three? Three hard element. No? There were three hard elements. What are those? Structure? I will start from S, no? That's why 7S is called, no? Structure, system, style, no? Style or strategy? Strategy, no? Right? Then four software elements were there. What are four software elements? Shared value, then style, anything else? Staff, skills, no? Staff skills. Right? So those are the software elements. Right. Now, the examiner asks you to use this element and evaluate this particular proposal. Right? Right. Structure, what do you think about the structure? So what should come under the structure part? Now here this CEO is there, COO is there. You can look at about this the organization structure part, right? Then system, they should have a good quality control system, for example. That's why they have received some quality standard. This HACCP ISO 28000 should have a good quality standard, for example. Then strategy should be focused on quality based strategy. No, it should be differentiation strategy, more differentiation based strategy. Shared values, do we have information on that one? Again, I think you can talk about a little bit on quality aspects. So we are more focusing about to offer quality product to the customers. Even see this vision to be leading premium export of agricultural product, right? Then staff, what do you think? Do they have sufficient staff here? This company is a very experienced company, no? So therefore, we can assume they have the required staff to carry out this activity. Do they have skill sets? Yes, should be. They are experienced staff members, and at the same time, see this achieving this quality certification also indicate they have the required skill sets, right? I think you can analyze this one. This is not difficult one. This 7S can be analyzed. You'll see examiners answer on this one. Strategy. So their strategies here is strategies to expand the business further. Structure. Now, what are the example for the strategy? Structure. Now see this CEO is there. CEO. You can talk on that also a little bit. Structure. Then this is a new factory where we are going to put this new factory, Padukkavan. In addition to these two locations, you can talk Colombo, Ratnapula. The system. So see this, for example, they have some quality system, quality standard they have achieved. That's an example of the system. Staff. So this experienced companion. So we can assume they have the required staff members. No skill. So they have achieved some certification in quality. That means they have the required skills. Style. So you have to check whether the CEOs and CEOs leadership style is consistent with the new strategy. Shared value. Now what talk about here? Here, this vision, they have given the vision, no? Vision, missions, and values, whether the proposed strategy is in line with that one. You can look at that one under shared value. Right. So that can be addressed. It's not a difficult one. At least 50 mark can be obtained. Nothing to worry. Right. Any question related to this? Right. Next part is theory. Actually, explain the reason for measuring non-financial variable when evaluating strategies of a business. That is theory. The balance scorecard. You remember this? I will check that one. But where this that is there in the study packs. In there. Here see balance scorecard. Here it should be there. Here see this, here it is there. Again, see this, I will send this on. I'll send it again. Right. So it is based on this one. See these two reasons here. Historical non-financial performance is open guide to the future. That is one of the reasons, no? Measuring non-financial variable. Here you see this theory part. It say that one. Right. That point is given. A future financial performance will be determined by non-financial achievements. Right. Then the second point is there's a part of non-financial aspect of strategy. This is past paper questions actually. That is there in study packs also. Non-financial aspect of study, therefore that should be measured. Right. Now, when it comes to these financial indicators, that is more historical oriented. It talks about the past performance, but it doesn't talk about the future performance. So future performance can be measured by looking about the non-financial indicators. For example, like customer feedback, how customers feel about your product, whether customers are happy or not. But at the same time, when you look at about strategy part, there's a non-financial aspect of the strategy also, like increase customer satisfaction, increase employee satisfaction. Therefore, that should be measured. That's why we want to consider about non-financial variable in the balance scorecard model. Right? So that 2 points are given. At least see this, both questions actually C part was more theory, no? Now, first one C also theory, second one C also. Irrespective of the information given, you have the opportunity to answer. So that is one of the significant observations. Right? Right. Any questions related with this? Any questions, guys? Right. Then question number 3. This SL4 free scene, I think it is out of my control matter. I think I don't know when this he is going to discuss that one. I think Aruna is there. Aruna maybe answer in that questions. The free scene. Aruna, are you there? So CA may inform you later in the respective date. Right. Question number 3. So when it comes to examiner's comment, so always what I can see is examiner say student's performance is very bad. On this one, we'll see what examiner say on this. It is there in the series. In my personal experience, right? It is there. We'll see what the examiner see on this. You can see this now. Question number 1, 32% perform in this two. Right. Question number 2, 40%. Very good trade. Question number 3, 36%. Average mark was 36%. And that's good, no? Right. When you look at the past students, average mark was 36%. Right. So you should be familiar, right, on this. I will see. Practically, actually, this is the most typical one. Now, so how the questions are raised here? What the basis? Normally, initially, a pre-scene is been given, no? Initially, pre-scene is been given. Then later, what happened when you go for the exam? This additional information is given, right? But here, see this. If you look at the additional information, less than 1 page, less than 1 page. Even if you look at about this information given, very rare chance to get any point relevant to the questions. Even though he want to talk about something, he talk about some additional information, but very low applicability when it comes to questions. So openly questions are based on the precedes, right? Now we'll go through this also. Now, first of all, we look at about this pre-seen part, then we'll try to grasp quickly the unseen part. Question 3, based on the common pre-seen, in addition to the information provided in the pre-seen in connection to the Safeway Holding PLC, in addition to the information provided in the pre-seen in connection to Safeway Holding PLC, you are provided the following additional informations. Safeway Holding PLC, SWH PLC and its future. After the pandemic, many countries experienced a drastic change in consumer behavior and market growth. General statement, right? However, the appalling appalling economic and political conditions in Sri Lanka has led the country toward a severe downturn. We know known fact. This downturn has also terribly impacted several industries, including retail, tourism and hospitality, energy and others. This downturn has also terribly impacted several industries, including retail, tourism and hospitality, energy and others. SWH PLC is a well-known organization in the country that has been expanding its operation over the past few decades in industries that were highly affected by the pandemic and the country's downturn. See, there's nothing here actually. What you can take on this one, because pre-scene is already given, right? So, therefore, it now faces substantial cash flow issues, right? Nothing to take here, except this cash flow issue. Be common now. Now then, next para C, due to the recession, brain drain has become another critical issue that Sri Lanka is currently facing. Now, that's true, no brain drain. So possibly you also migrate. I know. 90% of you may not stay here. You will leave after qualifying charter. Right? So, known fact, many young, energetic, well-educated people are leaving the country. Therefore, SWH PLC might also face a massive problem in retaining its employees. Therefore, SWH PLC might also face a massive problem in retaining its employees. However, Stephen, The chairman believes that the loyalty of their employees might reduce employee turnover. He thinks loyalty may discourage leaving employees the organization. Also, he emphasized the importance of leadership style in retaining the right people. To emphasize the importance of leadership style in retaining the right people, all these points were discussed during the director board meeting held last month. Further, the board was concerned about the proposal given by some of the directors earlier on unprofitable investment. Since there were mergers and acquisitions being done from the company inception, the board of directors are now keen on evaluating the journey and the organization strategy fit with the current marketplace. Nevertheless, a question raised in the MBA summit that was addressed by Stephen was once again raised by a director of the company who said that the expansion, mergers and acquisitions were not focused. Owing to these reasons, the board of directors is now interested in revisiting the business strategy. Nothing to be taken here, and gave responsibility to the core business committee appointed under the executive committee to review the business strategies and current business situations. Assume that you chair the core business committee. Look at the questions given. A, using Porter generic strategies, recommend the most suitable competitive strategy. Do we have information here regarding the Porter? Let me know. Do we have information here regarding Porter? Can someone confirm? Do we have required information or not? There's no more there, guys. Here, not there. Right? Look at the next one. Next part, part B. So, ways of creating value is WFM through the supply chain. Again, we don't have information here. C part, conduct SWOT analysis to determine whether SWH PLC should proceed with the decision of incorporating a separate private limited company for renewable energy under the direction of Edison Senagirati. So again, when it comes to the SWOT, here we don't have the respective information. Now this D actually out of this. Importance of big data analytics. So again, based on the given information, this theory is more theory questions. E, comment on the leadership style of Stephen and his wife using Blake and Morton manageability. Do we have information regarding Blake and Morton manageability here? Right? Yes, SWOT actually one or two information can be used. For example, cash flow issues, then brain drain, that is common to threat. Yes, I agree with your point. Right? Actually, very limited information here. Right? So it is totally, I can say 95% is based on the pre-scene given. So pre-scene is the key here. Right? Yes, therefore, you want to analyze the pre-scenes. Well, I will look at about pre-scene. This is the pre-scene. Last time pre-scene. We'll quickly look at about this. Otherwise, I can spend 3 hours on this itself. Then 4 hours actually. Reading part 3 hours, then analyzing the questions another 1 hour. Right. So Arnold may not be happy on that. Right. I don't right have time to have a lengthy discussion like that. Right. Now see. So if you look at about this particular business, if you look at the second para, the owner name is Stephen Fernandes, right? Fernandes, Stephen. When you look at about the history, what happened? He established his first company, the Safeway Holding Private Limited, SWH. In 1985. Safeway Holding, Stephen opened his first retail shop in Cinnamon Garden under SWH. So that was a retail shop actually. And in order to cater to high-end customers that live in the area who were looking for branded import consumer products. His business philosophy was to maximize customer satisfaction. However, Stephen soon observed new requirement of customers. Stephen soon observed new requirement of customers and opened his first supermarket by investing $5 million in 1992 under a separate company called Safeway Fresh Mart. That's a different company, right? So we have a retail shop, Cinnamon brand, that target market is high-end customers, right? Then, so we established Safeway Fresh Mart Limited with one of his friends, Albert Edrisi Vikrama, who invested 20% in the shareholding of the company. The balance 80% was invested by SWH, which enabled it to form Safeway Group. SWH was listed as a public company, SWH PLC, on the Colombo Stock Exchange in 1998. SWH, this Safeway Fresh Mart, no, the Safeway Holdings, no, that should come at the top, no, at the top. Safeway Holding, now registered in the stock market, right? This SWFM come under them. SWPLC continues retail shop in Cinnamon Garden under its direct management. It also earns income from its properties, which are rented out to its subsidiaries as well as to few outsiders. Right. Now, actually, so we'll see my analysis whether I can find this one. This is my analysis I have done last time. So look at the number of analyses I have done last time. I have done 76 analyses last time. Now, when it comes to history, see, I have identified this history. Right, there's a separate table, history. In 1985, he established Safeway Holdings, no, retail shop in Cinnamon Garden. In 1992, first supermarket was established, Safeway Fresh Mart. Then in 1998, SWH was listed as a public company, PLC on the Colombo Stock Exchange. Right, so up to now, these are the companies that we want to look at, no. See this organized structure one. Organized structure. Retail one, they have 3 units: SWFM, retail shop, and Express Mart. Right. So I just read the first few informations related to this. Right. Right. Now, what is our questions here? Using Porter's generic strategies, recommend the most suitable competitive strategies for SWH PLC. For the retail shop that are selling branded items, and Safeway Fresh Mart Private Limited. SWFM. So when it comes to the free-scene informations, what do you think about this para? You can get some idea on this one. There are 2 companies are there, no? And you see this pre-scene. I think pre-scene was shared, no, at the beginning, I think. If you go to history, I think you can find that one. Common pre-scene was shared. Okay, I will share it again.
We have shared the pre-scene.
Yes, earlier shared, no? Give me 1 second, I will share it again.
In the chat box.
Yeah. So I share it again, right? Now, when you look at about this, now the question is based on these 2 companies actually. 2 companies SWPLC, the retail shop and Safeway Fresh Mart. Right? So what do you think? Retail shop, what is the appropriate strategy? Right? Retail shop, what is the strategy? Cinnamon Garden, so what is the market segment they are targeting? High-end customers. High-end customers. And if you go to this Porter strategy, if you go to Porter strategy, so Michael Porter's generic strategies, how many strategies are there? So three main strategies, no? Three main strategies. Cost leadership, then differentiations, then focus. Three strategies are there, right? Now, on the cost leadership, we know that we are trying to become the lowest cost producer, no, in the industry. Here, you try to become the lowest cost producer. Lowest cost producer in the industry that will allow you to offer the good at the lowest price. Lowest price. Then when it comes to the differentiations, here you try to offer unique products. Unique product that will allow you to charge a price premium, no? Price premium. Then here the focus on that strategy, we cover a niche market. We cover niche market. Right? India, we can use, we can apply either cost leadership or cost focus, in other words, or differentiation focus strategy. Cost leadership or differentiation, either strategy can be applied. No? Cost focus strategy, now from, or differentiation focus strategy. Now, altogether, there are 4 strategies we can select. There are 4 strategies we can select. Broad cost leadership strategy, then broad differentiation strategy, cost focus, differentiation focus. This is a theory background, no? Right? Now, what do you think? Now the questions is asking you, what is the strategy for the retail shop, branded item, and what is the strategy for Safeway Fresh Mart? What do you think? Can someone let me know what is the ideal strategy for retail shop? Hey guys, let me know quickly. What that is strategy? Can someone tell me, another person? So here this information, see, Where it is located, Cinnamon Garden. So see, this is clearly given what type of customer they are serving also. High-end customers. So who is high-end customers? Is that a poor people or high-income earners? Huh? High-income earners that live in the area who are looking for branded import consumer products. So are they covering the whole Sri Lanka or are they restricted their operations in Cinnamon Garden? So Cinnamon Garden, that means restricted place. Focus should be the applications. Now cost leadership or differentiation. Cost focus or differentiation focus. What do you think? It's obvious, right? One answer. What is the answer? What is the strategy they apply? Cost focus or differentiation focus? Now, examiner asks you to identify the more suitable competitive strategy. No, retail shop. What is the answer? Your knowledge level is not good, guys. You should be very familiar with these stuffs. Should have gone through the theory, past papers, should have a very good knowledge on this. Otherwise, you stuck in the exam. Right? Now, high-end group customers, that means so the price may be high, imported consumer products, price should be high, right? So price should be high. Now see, in this analysis, niche market, we are in the Cinnamon Garden. Cost focus is not practical, no. So you can't offer good at the lowest price here. You are purchasing or bringing imported items. So high-end group willing to pay price premium should be differentiation focus. Obvious, differentiation focus. Right? Number 4 should be the answer. We will see what examiner say. He's analyzing all strategies, what he's finally say. I say, when it comes to the retail sector, established goods seem the branded item retail shops are well focused on the high-end customers. He is mentioning the same point. See what is his conclusions, will say. I analyze all these strategies, right? Then finally you say, established PLC use the focus strategy for its retail sector, which include the retail shop selling branded item and the supermarket chain for the established retail shops. It can use a differentiation focus. Differentiation focus. He analyzes and then say whether it's practical, then finally find the answer. It's differentiation focus. Right? Is that clear? First part, the differentiation focus. We'll see whether I have analyzed this part before based on the pre-scene. Now the first part question was this established PSC, retail shops. Retail shops. I see these retail shops, orders generic strategy retail shops. So I also analyze this each one. There is another outlet in later they may give information, right? Now see this my analysis. This is based on pre-scene now. Before the exam, we have done this. The last time this was shared among the students. I think Aruna is there. He may confirm. Aruna, this was shared no last time.
Yes, sir, we have shared.
Yeah. Now see this analysis. Stephen opened his first retail shop in Cinnamon Garden under SWH in order to cater to high-end customers that live in the area who were looking for branded imported consumer products. They have 2 outlets in Cinnamon Garden and Nugget. Therefore, they operate in a selected marketplace and offer unique product and may be in a position to charge price premium from customers. As such, they apply differentiation focus strategy. See, same thing have been identified clearly. So as such, they apply differentiation focus strategy. Right. I hope it's clear for you. First part. Then second area. What is the other one? Safeway Fresh Mart Limited. So whatever Safeway Fresh Mart Limited. Do we have information Safeway Fresh Mart? So it's a supermarket Safeway Fresh Mart Limited with one of his friend Albert Vikram, who invested 20% in the shareholding of the company. The balance 80% was invested by SWH. Right. We'll see whether we can find more information about this Safeway Fresh Mart. See. How many outlets they have? Now here there are some information regarding this supermarket. Over 300 outlets spread across the island covering 25 districts. Right? So they have 300 outlets covering the whole country. Now the severe cash flow issue was given in the pre-scene also. The same thing again was given in the unseen part also. So when it look at about this analysis part, here this questions are asked about SWFM, no? Safeway Fresh Mart. We'll try to find more information related to this. So since we don't have time, actually we don't have enough time to go through everywhere. That's why I'm trying to identify related information. CEO is Stephen. See, this is some of the information is given. Just after the end of terrorism in Sri Lanka, SWFM sped up the opening of supermarket outlet, including the northern province and eastern province, in order to meet the increasing demand for supermarket service. Then Stephen was happy about the progress and advised his team to build up the networking and partnering with rural farming communities in order to improve the uninterrupted supply chain to support the increased demand for fresh food, vegetable, and other essential food items from customers. He emphasized the importance of networking and helping farmers to buy their product and consider this as a corporate social responsibility. Hence, establish invest in purchasing farming land in rural areas and set up 4 vegetable farmland that cultivate seasonal vegetable and produce production circle. Then again they say it was mentioned 300 outlet, no? So since it has mentioned 300 outlet, retail shops, they say here, see this one. Establish PLC, empower Sri Lanka youth to take up future positions of leadership in the company and serve consumers throughout its retail chain that has over 300 outlets spread across the island covering 25 districts. And this to that means related with this SWPH, no? So what is the strategy you think ideal for them? It depends on your argument. Say Fresh Mart Private Limited, what do you think? Are they using focus or are they covering the broad market? That's the first question we have to raise. What is your answer on that? Are they covering total market or selected marketplace? What do you think? To interact with me, guys. So since they are in the whole country, I think so they should apply broad market strategy. FCM may think in different way. That is my argument. I will see whether we have found answers for this one. The pre-scene. Yes, someone is a cost focus. Why is cost focus? Then let me know the reasons, guys. You say cost focus. Why do you say like that? I need that answer. So what is the argument based on your answer? Now, when it comes to this pre-scene, so it's 300 outlet spread across the island covering 25 districts. So when it says 300 outlets spread cover the island covering 25 districts, practically it should not be focus strategy. Examiner may think in different way, right? I'm just giving some hint for you. Right now, you say cost focus. Like, let me know why you say cost focus. If you have a valid right argument, then I agree. Why you say cost focus? Right? Yes, examiner say cost focus, but I am not agree on this. Right? Right? So SWH, we have analyzed here. See this FFH part, no? See, this is the way that I have analyzed this one. So, being the lowest cost producing industry as a whole, cost leadership strategy, the vision is to be the destination for customers save money. See this vision, save money. That means cost focus. No more focusing on the costs, no matter how they want to shop, and also they have mission based on 3 principles. One principle, reducing the cost of living. Therefore, their vision and mission focus on the low cost. On the other hand, retail chain, there's over 300 outlets spread across the island covering 25 districts. Therefore, since they operate in mass market, whole Sri Lanka, and offer good and low price, they apply cost leadership strategy. That was the way that I argue. Now, if you say cost focus, give your argument, based on that you can get the marks. Right? Examiner may say cost focus, right? Now see what he said. Yes, your point is correct. Examiner says cost focus. He's having argument, guys. What is the argument he say? So I have an argument, and based on that I say, no, it's a not focus study. For the established supermarket chain, it can use the cost focus strategy where it can use its own production and farming side to manufacture product at a very low price under a standard quality level. This way, it can develop its own trade and sell those products at a lower price than its competitors, allowing it to easily achieve the vision and mission of the group through this strategy. But he's not connecting this number of outlets they have. See here. Right. So, but at the end of the paper, somewhere he has mentioned, I will show you, it's given a statement, guys. Now see this, for example, you see, marks were awarded based on the justification made by the candidate, and their answers were not limited only to the suggested answers above. Now that is key point here. So he's having a different argument, you have a different argument. Marks were awarded based on the justification made by the candidate. So you have to justify. Now I justify my answer. Why I say it costs leadership? Because I say that we are in the mass market because there are 300 outlets. The answers were not limited only to suggested answers above. Clearly say examiner. Right? If you have a valid answer, then you can get the marks. Right? There is no one particular answer based on argument. Right. Any questions, guys, related with that? Any questions, guys? Right. Then we move to part B. Stephen took a strategic decision to partner with rural farming community to improve the uninterrupted supply chain and support the increasing demand for fresh food, vegetable, and other essential food items. Stephen took a strategic decision to partner with rural farming communities to improve the uninterrupted supply chain and support the increasing demand for fresh food, vegetable, and other essential food items. Right. Analyze the ways of creating value to SWFM through the supply chain. Creating value to SWFM through the supply chain. That is theory. Right. If you go through your study facts, go to supply chain topic, you can find theory part of supply chain. Supply chain topic. There are 4 ways now. Here see, This is the point. Now, here see the questions. Question is ways of creating value to SWFM. Ways of creating values. See this. Creating value in the supply chain. Creating value through the supply chain. So creating value to SWFM through the supply chain. So your answer should be based on this. Right. So creating value through the supply chain can be achieved in the following ways: responsiveness, reliability, relationship, management efficiency in logistic operations. So 4 points are there. 3 are and operational efficiencies. You know this point. So responsiveness means you should be able to supply the goods to the customers quickly. You know, to do that one, you should have sufficient inventories, both raw material and the finished goods. Reliability in terms of 3 items, no? Quality, quantity, and the timeline. Right? Then relationship, you should develop good relationship with supply chain partners, customers and suppliers. No? Operational efficiencies, there are some areas you can work like warehouse operations. You can minimize the inventory levels. You can have optimal level inventories. Then internal environment of the warehouse should be used properly. Right. For example, you can keep stock in a efficient way. That is operation efficiencies. No? So examiner test this knowledge. Right. So see what is giving here as the answers. See this 4 point. Right. Responsiveness. So what do you say? Now you are operating in different areas in the country. So you can, by partnering with the suppliers, you can get the required goods very quickly. At the same time, having more outlet, you can sell the good to customers in different places very easily. Then reliability. So they have invest in purchasing vegetable farm in Aula, Ampar, Morelli, and MPPTN. So since you have your own farm, then you can get supply good very easily. Then continuous basis, you can get the supply. Right? Relationships. And this more he's worrying about theory part actually, not connect with the case actually. Theory part is given. Operational efficiency. The management can also create value by improving the efficiency of stores and warehouse operations. Minimize inventory level, again theory part actually. He's talking about theory part. Since SWFM has a large number of outlets all over the country, it can make agreement with the outgoers and other farmers that continuous supply to the nearest outlet and thereby reduce transport costs. See, that's applications. Stephen has advised research team to develop an IT-based agro app in order to bring smart agriculture in the future and have a supply chain within the group. When this app is introduced, operational efficiency could be enhanced further. That is applications. Right. Right. Then part C is conduct a SWOT analysis to determine whether established PSC should proceed with the decision of incorporating a separate private limited company for renewable energy under the direction of Edison Seneviratne. This SWOT analysis should be conducted for establishing the separate private limited company for renewable energy under the direction of Edison Seneviratne. So 10 marks. Now, as you have suggested, there are a few points here. Your weakness is struggling in finance. So you can extract from the unseen part also. Right? So we'll see what are the points here. So identify strength. Strength is established PLC investing in building a mini hydropower project, spending 250 million in 2017 in Haputale. The mini hydropower plant was commissioned in 2019, generating approximately 1.5 megawatt. Only established PLC has previous experience power generation project. It's a strength, no? Already we have the experience in this mini hydro project. Then, so SWHR sign a contract with the Ceylon Electricity Board to sell the excess electricity. Thus, future demand is guaranteed for the supply of electricity. Should be a strength, no? That one. You have a signed contract with the Ceylon Electricity Board. Then you have already a customer. Addition expertise in the electrical engineering field, having qualified in electrical and electronic engineering and having 20 years of work experience in the same field. So he's in the same field, that's a strength for you. The group has been in the business for more than 3 decades and may have an established brand loyalty. A brand loyalty also strength. Excess power can be utilized for the consumption of the 300 plus retail outlet. That's also strength, no? Weakness, what are the strengths? Weaknesses actually. The group is heading toward a severe cash flow issue that we found that problem, no? Thus, investing in another company may be a burden to the parent company. The existing power plant still generate losses to the group and group property is decreasing. This may generate losses sometime. The chairman and his family controlling power may be diluted by the proposed new company, which will be led by Edison. They are controlling the company now. This will be led by the Edison. Their control power may be reduced. Less experience in the power sector when compared to other segment. Opportunities. Increase in demand for renewable energy. As a solution in energy crisis in Sri Lanka. Now we are facing energy crisis now. This new company will do better in the future with acquire an existing loss-making wind or solar power company and merge it with the proposed new company in the power sector. Probable tax benefit proposed by the government, maybe tax benefit for this companies invest in this area. High demand for electricity from household and manufacturing segment. So opportunity. Opportunity dies by the business to the power sector. Another threat. Negative environment, the consequences such as drought that may result due to this investment, economic crisis in the country, government policy decisions that have detrimental impact on private power suppliers. We don't have proper policy, no. Volatility of the future tariff structure of the country, time tax structure change, sometime exemption is granted, then removed by the government. There may be severe competition due to the proposed tax benefit available to the power industry. There may be other people also enter into the same market. So those are the points he has given. Right. Any questions, guys? Then look at the part D. Again, this is more theoretical questions, guys, part D. But ABC more application questions. D is more theoretical questions. Discuss the importance of big data analytics to SWFM strategic management using the 4 V's of big data. You know what is 4 V's of big data? This examiner want to cover the 10% in technology part. No? I saw earlier, do you remember? There was a 10% for the technology part. Therefore, she should test a question. See this 10 mark. Question has been raised from that. So this time also you can expect some question from this area plus some question from internationalizations. Right? So discuss the importance of big data analytics to SWFM in strategic management using the 4 V's of big data. Again, theory. If you go to the theory part, this is there, big data. Here see this volume, velocity, variety, then the veracity. These are the 4 things you have to look at here. Right? Volume, the vast volume of data entered by key feature of big data, no? Velocity, this report of the speed at which real time data is being streamed into the organizations. So variety, diversity of source data, no? Diversity of source data. Veracity, whether data is true or not. Now the questions ask you imports of big data analytics to SWFM. In strategic management using the 4 V's of big data. Right? 4 V's of big data. So you have to adjust a little bit the theory informations to the company given here. That is your duty here. So we'll see what he is talking about this. Now he talk about this 4 variable. Actually, theory may be more there. Right? So the vast volume data generated is a crucial feature of big data. The main benefit of big data analytics come from the ability to process vast amount of information. The bigger the data, the more potential insight can give identify trend and pattern and getting a deep understanding of customer requirement. Now this is theory part. Then he is trying to apply for the given scenario. For example, more customers are now using internet, smartphone, and social media to search for consumer good. Therefore, keyword, website, time, occasion, consumer profile, and other detail about the search can be easily stored on virtual platform. Also, if SWFM use loyalty card, the data recorded on the loyalty card and POS machines can be used to analyze consumer buying habit. More, the search result for many retail products that are sold by SWFM can be easily analyzed through the big data analytics. Therefore, sales promotion and other promotion support of SWFM can be customized according to the information it generates. As SWFM is also into retailing, big data analytics is beneficial for it in making decision in the future. Right. So just only this put the name of the company, other things are theory actually. Velocity. This refers to the speed at which real-time data is streamed into the organization and with which it is processed within the organizations. Online retailers can compile recording of each click and interactions of interaction a customer makes while visiting a website rather than simply record the final sales at the end of a customer transaction. Moreover, retailers who can quickly utilize information about the customer click and transaction can use this speed to generate a competitive advantage. See, theory, that's only theory. Real-time data is also very important for SWFM as it is operating in a very competitive market in Sri Lanka. Therefore, quick update about product and service according to real-time data will help the company make customers happy and satisfied. As such, retention of customers can be achieved very quickly, and thus a loyalty program and other operation related to SWFM can generate the desired result quickly and easily. That is a little bit applications, no? Then variety or variability. Variety of variability. A common theme about big data is the diversity of source data with a lot of data being unstructured, not in a database. For example, keyword from conversation people have on Facebook or Twitter and the content they share through media file could be unstructured data source. User-generated content related to retailing and traveling are used in these industries more and more to plan how to attract customers to the hotel and retail. So therefore, SW as an organization operating in the retail sector can use various big data for strategic planning such as awareness, product and services, brand preferences, consumer behavior trend, economic and financial trends, then human resource trend, attitude changes, cultural changes. See, that is application a little bit. Then veracity, truthfulness. Although the volume of data available to organizations is greater than ever before, for that data to be beneficial for decision making, it need to be reliable and truthful. If the data is not truthful, it could reduce the value of any decisions that are informed by it. If the customer themselves feed a lot of data to the system and the internet, the reliability of that data is very high and so is qualitative. The decision taken by SWFM can be very reliable if it properly use big data analytics. Perhaps SWFM can open its website and other social media pages for open comment by the customers so that other customers can easily see the updated comment by customers who have experienced SWFM services. These are very reliable and as customers by themselves provide the data, all this data can then be used to improve the service of SWFM too. As SWPAC, the group head of IT is keen on introducing Industry 4 technology to business, starting from the retail chain. The board of directors is willing to implement this proposal. Big data analytics will play a significant role in bringing in technology, especially artificial intelligence, AI, augmented reality, and virtual reality. So it is more actually theory. It's more theory parts. Then part E, since comment on the leadership style of Stephen and his wife use the Blake and Morton managerial grid. That is application, guys. 6 marks. So do we have information from unseen? No. It should be based on the pre-seen actually. Right, Blake and Morton. Do you remember Blake and Morton leadership style? There were 5, no? Impoverish, task, people, middle, other one is team, no? There were 5 actually. Right? So, what do you think about the Stephen leadership style? Look at about this theory part a little bit. So we can find this Blake and Morton one. $383. So this is the one, right? So impoverished is very bad leadership, no? So low attention to people, at the same time low attention to the tasks. Country club, that is people oriented one. Country club mean more attention to people but low attention to the tasks. Country club. The middle road mean you are in between. Tasks mean so more attention to the task, low attention to the people concerned. Team is the ideal one, no? Best leadership style. More attention to both variable, tasks and the people. This is manager grids. Now the question is leadership style of Stephen. Now from the unseen, do we have any information? So unseen, let's see. So go to the. So Stephen, initially there was some information given about Stephen. His wife, a lot of informations are there. See, there are some informations here about Stephen. Stephen Fernandez was born to one of the most affluent families in Colombo. He was the youngest of the family, having 2 elder brothers and 2 elder sisters. Being the youngest child, he had a wonderful childhood and thoroughly enjoyed his teenager years. After successfully completing his secondary education, he entered the University of Cambridge, looking for his higher educations as a student in electrical and electronic engineering. Stephen returned to Sri Lanka in 1984 after completing his higher education with an honors degree in BS engineering. Nothing about his leadership style, no? Now there are some information here actually. His business philosophy was to maximize customer satisfactions. Right? That is his philosophy. He was appointed as CEO of the SW while Stephen was the chairman. As an energetic and dynamic who never stopped believing in people, Stephen once mentioned during board meeting that he believed opportunity should not be missed And that the only way to success is the risk-taking approach. And the recently at a staff meeting, he said he would not have been able to become successful ourselves. There are many people who have helped us during our loan journey, parent, family, friends, so our trustworthy suppliers, and most importantly, our loyal customers. We should graciously appreciate the number of new customers we have received through word of mouth. Through our existing customers who have recommended our business. We are also highly grateful to our staff who are currently working with us, and also those who have worked for us previously, as well as all the banks that are partners to our success. He's thinking about the employee a little bit. Stephen formulated the group vision and mission after considering what he wants to achieve in the future. He always emphasized the vision and mission of the group before he discussed other matters. He directs his team to comply with the vision and mission in all business activities of the group without deviating from them. Stephen believed that it is not good management strategy to leave all activities subordinate and just monitor the input provided by them. Get involved in each decision and then want to others to carry out and implement them successfully. He get involved in each decision. Should be a little bit more task orientation, no? And want others to carry out and implement them successfully. He rewards his loyal employee every year. Then when staff get together, Stephen does not tolerate any fraudulent activity conducted by employee. If anything comes to light, immediately fire the concerned person who, after setting all legal duty to particular staff member. He's having a task orientation also. He's worried about vision and mission. No? At the same time, he's treating his employee also. But so less information about other things. Right? So what do you think when you look at about theory part? Maybe in between, no middle road. Is focusing about this task a little bit, at the same time focusing on the people also. Probably is in the middle road leadership style. Let's see what examiner is saying. Yes, on the one. Stephen always emphasized the vision and mission of the group before he discussed. See, the same point have been extracted. He discussed other matters. He directs his team to comply with the vision and mission in all business activities of the group without deviating from them. He always get involved in each decision and then want to others to carry out and implement them successfully. A task orientation pattern. He reward his loyal employee every year and then all staff get together. However, he does not tolerate any fraudulent activity. See that what we have read actually extracted as it is by the examiner also. Is very strict on these matters and does not hesitate on fire such employee. According to point given in the case, Stephen seemed to be middle road manager with adequate performance through balancing the necessary to get work done with positive team morale. Yes, our point was correct. Then what is the next part? Actually, we didn't look at about this. His wife, no. Wife is Indra, I think. So we look at about wife style also. Wife style. Say we are wife. Yes, in this FWHR was headed by Indira Fadandis. See, I have identified that point, guys. See, in my analysis, what I have given here. මම මේ කියවද්දිම අඳුරගෙන තියෙනවා මේ බ්ලේක් ඇන්ඩ් මෝර්ටන් මැනේජර් ග්‍රිඩ් එක ටෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. See, here I have identified that one, capture that point. Right? So, that was tested actually. See, as it is. SWH was headed by Indira Fernandez. Stephen's wife, she is highly qualified hospitality management graduate from the University of Expert Brokers, UK. She is an entrepreneur who is dynamic and energetic and always has a charming smile on her face. She's a kind-hearted person with a firm character. Kind-hearted, that means people-oriented, no? Firm character, strong. She has result-oriented leadership. That means focusing on tasks also. Politicians always want to maximize the productivity of the company. That indicate more task orientations. She was able to complete negotiations successfully, carry out the acquisition of Coral Beach Bay, Nicambo Private Limited. SWHR first acquisition in the beginning of 1999. Indira was also able to secure the exclusive global franchise right of luxury residency. Right. Then there are some more information. She always consult her team of employees. That means people orientation and discuss issues and the solution for them before acting on them. She support the group culture within the companies that are under the review. So we'll see my analysis. I have done this one. Should have done because in I have identified that one. See, different model have been used. Leadership style of Indira. See here, number 18. Number 18, leadership style of Indira, Blake and Morton manager grids. So, see, I have extracted the point. Following point given on leadership style of Indira, she is an entrepreneur who is dynamic and energetic, and always has a charming smile on her face. She is a kind-hearted person with a firm character. She has result-oriented leadership qualities and always want to maximize the productivity of the company. Right. She always consult her team of employees and discuss issues and the solution for them before acting on them. She supports the group culture within the company that are under her review. As per above information, she is a result-oriented leader and want to maximize the productivity of the company. That is task orientation. That indicates you wait on the task in hand. But it say that she is a kind-hearted person and consult her team before taking decisions. That indicates she is a people-oriented leader also. Therefore, she is having a team management style. That is what I have analyzed. Team management style. Do you agree with my one? Before going to the examiner, what he has thought. Do you agree with my analysis? She is focusing about both. Therefore, she's using this team management style. So we'll see what the examiner see. There's a last para related to this Indira's one. Indira is an entrepreneur who is dynamic and energetic. She is a kind-hearted person with a firm character. She has result-oriented leadership qualities and always want to maximize the productivity of the company. She's a good negotiator when it comes to business. So she always consult her team of employees and discuss issues and the solution for them before acting on them. By looking at the above description of Indira, she falls into the category of team player. Is that matching or not matching? What do you think, guys? Guys, what do you think, guys? Matching as it is. That's why you have a pre-scene given to analyze yourself. Right? See the same thing now. Right? So nothing difference. So see this 6 mark. And here I'm penno the barno analysis ekana me etika hemmo ganna tibbala 6 marks. Even this first part it was matching. First part. Right? So that's why you want to do a proper pre-scene analysis. Right? So this pre-scene was very complicated actually. So a lot of information, not organized well. But when it comes to this current pre-scene of you, this one is well-organized pre-scene. Well-organized pre-scene, why 3 companies' information are separately given. So just an introduction about the business, then see you can see the Southern Plantation, 3 companies. 3 Southern Plantation information. Number 4, next company, that is Crystal Sand Beach Hotel Private Limited. Number 4, then the number 5 is other Paradise Travel Private Limited. It's well organized pre-scene. Right? So 3 companies are separately given. So work with the pre-scene, guys. Then you can get more marks. Right? So, right. Is someone earlier asked this past paper question analysis again? Give me 1 second. This pre-scene actually will have a separate session. Then I think still I have also not finished this one. So this is an incomplete one. So when we have in one of, so we'll share this one when we have done the things, huh? Right. So you can do a lot of analysis. Try to do a lot of analysis. See, this is my work. I'm still in the middle, right? Since see this one, I have done already 59 analysis. Still in the middle. Relevant to this. So work with the pre-scene, guys, these days, right? Someone say pre-scene, not receive pre-scene yet. Hey guys, pre-scene was issue, I think 10th of May, no? Saruda? Pre-scene was issue on 10th of May, no?
Yes, sir, we have published that.
Yeah, you go to the website, then you can get the pre-scene. CA will not email you guys. Right?
Yeah, we will not email separately, but that is available on the website.
Yeah. So you go to the, so because 1 month prior to the exam, this pre-scene is issue. Right. So do whatever else you can actually, right? So we'll have a separate session, guys, right? Then we can share. So because some of the adjustment may be done later, then otherwise this is not a complete document. So when you have complete this one, we'll share this one, right? So otherwise it may confuse. Sometimes we do adjustment within this inside again, then these incomplete documents. Any more questions from your end, guys? Any more questions? Yes, if you have a question, you can raise. What are the questions you are having? I know this. So when you are going to have this pre-scene discussion now?
So I will confirm that tomorrow by an email.
Okay.
Very soon we'll conduct that. I think within next few days we can conduct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Then thank you very much for participating in sessions. Then again, we'll meet with the pre-scene analysis. Then hope you got something from our discussions. And thank you very much for CA also for inviting me to conduct the sessions, as well as thank you very much for listening me. Right. And good night.
Okay, thank you, sir.